Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy time. Yes, recovery behavior number 3. Set a bedtime. Yes, a lot of people love sleep. People love sleep. I love sleep too. But the thing is, people seem to love sleep after their alarm has gone off. But they really don't seem too excited to go to sleep a little bit earlier. It's funny how that works, huh? When we're sleeping, we love sleep and we want more of it. So that's why people end up snoozing or sleeping in later past their alarm or waking up at the very, very final second that they need to get up. But when it's time to actually go to bed, they'll look for ways to keep themselves awake to either watch TV or find some stimulation, or that's working or whatnot. Let's reverse that. Let's completely reverse that. If you love sleep, which I hope you love sleep, let's get to sleep a little earlier. All right. Now, we want to make a bedtime that's realistic. If you set a bedtime for 8 p.m., but you really don't, and you might have kids, and you get home at 7 p.m., it's going to be really challenging for you to go to bed at 8 p.m. So we want to set a time that's realistic. We might also need to work backwards and find out, hey, what time do you have to wake up in the morning? Unless you have no responsibilities, chances are there's a certain time where you must be awake and getting your day started to get going. Whether that's to get into the office, to get your job started, to take some kids to school, whatever it is, chances are you have a time that you have to wake up. So let's start there. What's the ideal time that you have to wake up at? And then work backwards. Ideally, we want to get 8 hours of sleep. That's like the overall recommendation is 8 hours. In an ideal world, that's not really possible. I wake up at 4 a.m., that means I have to go to bed at 8 p.m. Is that possible for me? No, because I'm that guy that I work until 6:30, 7 p.m., get home, eat dinner. There's no way in hell I'm going to sleep 20 minutes after I got home and had dinner and I'm decompressing. So I set my bedtime at 9 p.m. So we want to find a bedtime that's realistic and is within a 6 to 8 hour window of being asleep. If you can get a little bit more than 8 hours and 9 hours, hey, more power to you. It's going to be very beneficial for you. But we want to make sure that we're not getting any less than 6 hours of sleep. So for me, waking up at 4 a.m., I absolutely need to be in bed by 10 p.m., especially if I want to function and kick ass the next day. So personally, I have my bedtime at 9 p.m. So choose your bedtime. Now here's what we want to do. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a wiggle room there. We want to be in bed. Now, we can't always suggest that you're going to fall asleep. That's a different story. There might be other factors, things going on in your head and your mindset that might be keeping you awake. The fact is, we want to try to turn off the TV and get ourselves in a space where we can eventually fall asleep. And we want to try to remove all sort of stimulation activity. So what we want to do is we want to be in bed, getting ready for sleep 30 minutes before or after the bedtime. So my bedtime being 9 p.m., I would like to get into bed. Hey, by 8:30 p.m., that's a good time to get started to go to bed. 9:30 p.m., I definitely need to be in bed by then. So give yourself that 30-minute before or after wiggle room. That's going to help you feel like it's not a consistent, I have to be in bed exactly at this time, but it's going to give you some wiggle room. If you're feeling a little bit tired, hey, go to bed a little earlier. If you're not feeling very tired and you need to decompress, instead of watching another episode of whatever the hell on Netflix, get on the floor and do your 10 deep breaths. Do something that's going to decompress your body, that's going to put you in a state of relaxation and sleep. Stimulating and watching a screen for another 20 minutes is not going to help you at all. I mean, maybe. I watch Bob Ross sometimes, and that helps me go to sleep. There's something calming about happy little accidents and trees being painted in the forest that help me. So if that is a part of your decompression, go ahead and do that. But if you're watching something that's stimulating you and keeping you up, and you're like, man, I cannot wait for this next episode, turn off the TV, because that's not going to help you get to sleep. So recovery behavior week 3 is setting a bedtime. Work backwards. What's the time you absolutely have to wake up in the morning? Let's work backwards from there so we get at least 6 to 8 hours in bed, and then get to sleep and get yourself in bed 30 minutes before or after whatever your bedtime is. Boom. You got any questions, hit me up on that. But this comes down to discipline. You need to have the discipline to turn off the television, to be able to slam down that laptop if you're working. Because there's two things that keep people up usually. There is TV, watching something that's stimulating you, and work. People that convince themselves, I need to get more work done, and so they work till the late hours in the evening. If you notice that you're not efficient with your work and you can go to sleep, wake up an hour earlier, and get that much more work done in the morning, do that. Last thing I want to say on this is we also need to have fun. We need to have fun. This rule mostly applies during the weekday. When you are just in your day-to-day routine, the regular grind, respect your bedtime. But I understand. Let's say it's date night and you're going out with a significant other and you're going to be out past your bedtime. Don't be a chump that's saying, oh man, like I got to be in bed in 30 minutes. Let's call off this date. Let's go home. No, don't do that. If you're at a concert, if you're doing something fun, go live your life. It's okay to break the rule of the bedtime. What's most important is when you're on your day-to-day routine that you respect the bedtime. If you're out living life, having fun at an event or party or whatever it is, hey, live your life. C'est la vie. I think that's the term for it. I don't know French. But we want to make sure that we're living our life first and foremost. But when we're in our routines, we are in our routines and we're disciplined with the bedtime. So set your bedtime. Fall asleep within 30 minutes before or after. Maybe not fall asleep, but be in bed and get ready for it. If you're living your life, don't worry about the bedtime. Have fun. All right, you guys. Catch you later. If you have any questions, let me know.